out here at Uvalde, Texas. We're going to walk you guys through us at a competition. I've got, it's a 4-meat competition. We've got brisket, chicken, ribs, and pork. We're going to show you some of what we do. And without further ado, let's get into it. There's a lot of our meat. There's our brisket. We're going to trim our brisket here in a minute. It's down there. But there's our pork and ribs. Our chicken's in this guy here. Yank this guy out. Our chicken's been brining for 4 hours. We're about to take it out and put it away for the night. Just taking it out. Give it another layer of paper towels, get it dry. We're doing legs, as you can see. We did a 4, maybe 5, I think. I think it's close to 4.5 brine. We wanted to do 4, but we were at a restaurant. It ends up being a 5 hour, or 4.5. Chicken here. All right, throw them into this bag and we'll stick them in the fridge. And we won't mess with them until the morning. We'll season them and put them on the drum. And then we pulled the brisket out. It's on the table. And we're about to start trimming this guy. It's 9 o'clock at night. It's not ideal to wait this long. Most of this you probably should do at the house, but our vacuum sealer's a little jacked, so until I get a new one, just open this guy up. I always open it with the fat side to me, so if I accidentally or cut it out, I really don't care because that's the fat side and that's the deckle side. I'll get this guy flipped over and kind of see what we're working with. It says Snake River Farms. I got it from HEB. Usually first cut for me a lot of times is take that hard fat off. And I'll come down here a lot of times and just kind of cut, do a little angle there just to see what I'm working with. It's a little, not really lots of fat, so we're gonna have to come in here and do this cut. Oh, we got some meat there. We got something to work with. But the thick part of our flat's right there, so that's obviously where we want to come up with our slices from right there. So we'll start working on her this way. We are going to separate because we're going to cook burnt ends. So I'm just kind of trimming around just to kind of see what we're working with. And this is going to be the top of my burnt ends. This is going to be my flat that I cook. But she looks pretty thick over here. She's going to be a little thinner on this other side over here. You can see from this side she's a lot thinner over here. She's got a lot of thickness over here. But we'll make it work. Yeah. So she's pretty thin on this side, but pretty thick on that side. So we're just going to have to try to work her to where we can hopefully come up with something decent out of this guy. Okay, we're going to cook her in this caddy, chicken fried caddy. And now I'll pull our point over here. I'll start working on this guy. I kind of want it to all be somewhat level. So there's our flat right there and our point right there. And we'll save all this for burgers. So we're about to inject the brisket. We've got, this is an all-flex injector. You get them, and I got it online at a veterinarian supply. They use them to, I guess, give animal shots. And I'm using a 14 gauge needle. And you can also get these like at your local feed store. That's where I get it from. And if they don't have the 14 gauge, man, a lot of guys use 16 gauge, which is a little bit smaller. I use a bigger needle. I use a 14 gauge. Take the end off of it, draw it up into the syringe, and you screw on the end like that and comes off. If there's air in it like that, I will squeeze it till I got liquid coming out, and I will proceed to inject the brisket. So you don't have to, but I do take the needle off, load it again, and then I just screw it back on, and now I'm ready to shoot the brisket. I pump her pretty full. I want to make sure, you can see some of it'll spit out. I want to make sure she's full of flavor. So we've injected the flat, and now we will go and inject the point. Again, I'll suck up, twist my needle on, just kind of checkerboarding it. So that's it. They're both injected. You got our flat injected and our point. And we're going to stick them in the Cambro, and they'll go, and we'll season brisket in the morning. So it is, man, it's 9:30. We just finished up, so we'll stick it in the Cambro, and we'll jump into pork next. So we're 9:36, and we're going to start trimming our pork. We're after this guy here. That's the money muscle. The bone side is back here. You can feel the bone or see the bone right there. But we're after that money muscle right there. But first things first, we're going to debone it. We've got a bone right there and right there. So I just come in and start taking that meat off the top of that bone. I'm just dropping that bone out. We're not interested in the bone. Now I just take my knife, come across the top, just make some small cuts there. And this is what I'm looking for, that little fat seam where they all come together. And I kind of just go down from there. So I'm just trying to take off some of that fat. That way the rub will stick. And again, I'm just after really, I'm going to cook it attached to it. Being that this one doesn't have a good fat cap. I mean, the fat cap's kind of scalped. Otherwise, man, I'd be going after this meat. But if you get a full fat cap, this meat underneath the fat cap, it's sandwiched between two, is really good. But I'll just kind of dock it a little bit so it'll all fit. So I'm probably going to cook 4 or 5 of these on the drum. So that's our last one. This is what we want. You know, this is probably our best one. Got our money muscle there, the rest of the butt there. We wanted a full fat cap, but we don't have it. But still, man, we're going to have to make do with what we got. So we're going after this guy here. And you can see, if you cut there, you can see it's a nice money muscle on the end of that guy. That's the piece we're after. So a lot of guys cook these. Man, you could just take it straight down here and cook it. I like leaving it attached. I feel like I get a little more moisture, but I'm sure there are plenty of people that score cooking them just money muscles by themselves. Some of them are better than others, but that's why we're cooking. We're going to cook 5 of them, and we'll turn in what tastes the best. Our pork's trim. Got our pork injection made. It's 10 o'clock at night, 10:03. Draw it up in our needle just like we did on the brisket. Put it on, and then I start shooting these money muscles, and I just put a tube in each one to start with. And I'm just hitting with small little hits. I'm just kind of hammering them in there. So you can find these all flex. There's a bunch of them, a spit jack. I've had good luck with this all flex. I've had it for a long time. And again, I'm just pumping each money muscle off each butt. And man, I could do this in the morning. I've done it in the morning and scored. If I've been too tired on a double header, I've done it in the morning and I've still scored. I don't know. Doing it tonight kind of gets everything out of the way, so it's one less thing I have to do in the morning when I start cooking. But I would say these pork butts probably aren't the best as far as marbling, but it's the best butts we could find. So just shopping at our grocery store. So it's, man, just after 10 o'clock, pork's been injected, and we're going to season it. So we've got our Texas sweet grind, and we're just going to hit it. Not real heavy, just give it a nice light coat. And I'm really only all that concerned with the money muscle. I'm just giving it a little bit of a light coat, especially on those money muscles. We've got them seasoned up. I like to make sure to hit the fat a little bit, cover the fat, but that's it. Then stick them in the Cambro, and that'll be it for pork for the night, and then we'll get into ribs next. Are you live action? So we've got our ribs, we've got them in this pan. I've got 3 racks, 2 long ones and a shorty to fit in the pan. And I've got them meat side down, bone side up. And we're going to take our trusty injector again, fill up our tube, twist on our needle. And then I just hit them between the bones. Give them a couple of shots, 2, 3. I want to make sure I get, you can see it going in there. And you can go in here and draw up without pulling the needle off, but out of habit, I end up taking it off a lot of times. But I'm just going in between the bones. So once I have it kind of pumped up from the bottom, I'll flip them over. And you can see how they're kind of humping up. But I'll just make sure that, man, I like those little humps. Make sure I got them pumped up. You kind of see in between each of the bones. All these little valleys. Like I said, you can see how they're kind of, I pump them up pretty good. And then I lay them back down like that. And once I'm done injecting all 3, I'll pour the rest of this and just let it soak overnight. So that's it on ribs. We got them injected, and we're going to slide them into the Cambro. We'll slide them in there. Got our brisket, ribs, and pork. We've got this little chiller. We froze that, and it'll keep everything nice and cool. So that's us done prepping Friday night. It's 10:36. We've got everything trimmed, everything injected, and pork is seasoned. We'll put some more seasonings on it in the morning. We'll get up probably around 6, looking to get brisket on around 7. Guys, it's Saturday night after awards. We gave you a glimpse of inside our trailer of what happens on a Friday. That's a typical Friday. Trimming everything here. I didn't necessarily say it earlier when I was trimming, but I wasn't real super excited with that brisket. But in the end, and the brisket came through. We ended up getting a 4th place brisket out of 137 teams. We ended up getting a 14th place pork. You guys saw us season the pork the night before, as well as finishing 6th overall out of 137 teams. So big congratulations to Sure Shot BBQ, Josh and Stacy and Kevin, who RGC'd. Sure Shot was your GC. And it was a great contest. Wade, everybody does a fantastic job. If you guys want to see more content or even want to see some of these boxes I posted on my Instagram, go follow me there. You'll see the pork box, the brisket box. But follow us there, and if you want to see more content like this, drop us a comment. Let us know you want to see more. Maybe we'll film our cook on a Saturday or film our turn-in boxes and give you guys a little more insight to competition barbecue. Until then, man, thanks a lot. Make sure you subscribe, and we'll see you on the next video.